Greetings, everyone. Well, for today, I'd like to just share a short little video with you about my two lightsabers in my collection, which are my my best models. I don't have many lightsabers at all. I have these and some Ultra Sabers Initiates and my Anakin FX Saber from 2002, 2003, whenever it was made. But these two are my lightsabers that bring me the most happiness when I look at them because of where they come from and just because the lightsaber has always fascinated me, as has many Star Wars fans who are particularly attuned to the more spiritual side of the Force, or a spiritual side of Star Wars, the Force, the Jedi and the Sith. Now, these two lightsabers are representative, of course, at least in the case of this Graflex model here. These two lightsabers are the lightsabers carried by Luke Skywalker. And the first one was bestowed to him by his first teacher, very short time teacher, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi gave him this saber, which belonged to his father, Anakin Skywalker. His father, Anakin Skywalker, created this lightsaber during the course of the Clone Wars. He lost his first, well, maybe it wasn't his first, but he lost his Jedi Knight, his Padawan lightsaber, in battle on Geonosis at the droid factory. And so, by the time we see him in Revenge of the Sith, and before that in the Clone Wars series, he was carrying this lightsaber, a weapon of war designed for power. Okay, and it is reminiscent of the Graflex, the original lightsaber prop used for the original Star Wars trilogy, for A New Hope, Episode 4, and for The Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5. Okay, and of course, for the brief little history, I'm sure many of you know, but for any of you newbies who don't, the Graflex is the flash attachment for an old camera, and then these parts here were added on to it, and I think a little part here was added on and such like that. But essentially, that was what it was. It was a camera piece, and it was representative of the lightsaber, of technology from a used universe. George wanted his universe to feel familiar, and so a lot of his designs, at least early designs, were taken from things that were familiar, junk shops or part stores or model kits, things like that. So it had a familiar feel to it, a used universe, rather than everything being all brand spanking designed new. Even in the prequels, even if you take the Nubian vessels, had sort of an old flair of 1940s or 50s classic muscle cars, the Nubians, as they were craftsmen, airship or spaceship designers, and so you kind of have that little bit of a flair, that 1950s flair, so that's kind of fun. Things that are distinctive about the Graflex model lightsaber are, the S-shaped emitter, or the curved shape emitter. These, what we, lovingly call the bunny ears. In the old model of the cameras, this would be, I think, the piece you would snap this, but it was a lot thinner. Of course, these are more durable for the sort of Graflex stylized models. You would grab these and pop it out, and the light bulb, which would sit in here, would be able to come free. There is this control box in the middle. There's a couple buttons on here, of course, the brass pins. My personal model uses this type. I forget which type this is called. Sorry. I think this is the screw type, maybe, not the button type of retention screw. The T-grips. These are just a hard plastic. They aren't rubber or anything like that. Maybe they used rubber on the film props, because that would have been a lot easier to hold. But yeah, you get those design elements in the classic Graflex design. So he carried this. Anakin Skywalker, well, or you could say Darth Vader, lost this lightsaber on Mustafar during his battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it was there that Obi-Wan took the weapon and held it for the future use of the New Hope of the Jedi Order and of the galaxy. And so he kept it safe for Anakin's son, Luke Skywalker. This lightsaber, of course, uses the blue lightsaber blade. Now, after Luke lost this weapon, he carried it with him through the Galactic Civil War until he lost it in a battle with Darth Vader on Cloud City, of course. And maybe it's revealed in the comics, but I don't know because I haven't read them. I don't know how the lightsaber was discovered or who discovered it. But after Luke lost that weapon, he needed to construct a new one. Now, the Legends book Shadows of the Empire reveals some detail of how Luke was doing that, using some design cues from Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. See, this lightsaber is very much like Obi-Wan's lightsaber that he crafted when he became a Jedi Master during the Clone Wars. And so some design elements of this is, of course, the famous thin neck design that leads up to the emitter. What we call the grenade section, because, of course, it was the original prop used sort of this grenade type of apparatus. It wasn't like rounded smooth like this, but of course this is a more modernized version of Obi-Wan's weapon that he used, but that's the shape of it. It's like the grenade. It has a control box as well. And then this pommel, this type of pommel that has these sort of trapezoidal cubes, which make a very interesting design. And this has a tri-ring that allows it to clip onto the belt. No cover tech on this one. Now, the thing to understand about these models, I'll come back to that one. But with this model, there's a few different models of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Some of them, which is more of the stunt model, has a sort of hook here, or a clamp, if you will. And I think if you pop that off, then you can, remove a piece here or something like that. But it's kind of like a fastening clamp on the one side. Oh, I bumped the button there. It woke it up from its sleep mode. So some of these design cues are a little different. The copper piece is not here in the stunt version, and it's a lot darker and a lot more scuffed up. And it may even have more of a D-ring instead of a tri-ring on the stunt model. So this is what's called the hero version. The hero version of film props is the nicest looking one that usually isn't used except for close-ups. But when they use for battle, they don't use the nice shiny one for battle scenes. They use the stunt models. And it was interesting, actually, for Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan's lightsaber that he has like that, some of these things are... Actually, I don't even know if this is on there. It might be on there, but just a little bit more rounded off. And some of these things are a little bit more rounded and smoothed off. So it was his personal favorite to use, was sort of the stunt model that they had. And I think they even designed some rubbery types of weapons, like if they were getting thrown across the floor or whatever, but they could even chrome plate sort of those rubberized bendy ones. You find that on the Revenge of the Sith bonus features, which are fun. Now, this lightsaber, of course, those of you in the saber community know exactly what this is. This is the Ultra Sabers Graflex, their version of it, which is, of course, not film accurate, but it is. I chose it because it's representative. Things that are not accurate to a vintage Graflex is because, of course, this is a molded piece that's fastened on, of course. This clamp, or no, not clamp. This control box section is rounded off, which is different. Very comfortable, though. Very comfortable. But, of course, it's rounded off, and it doesn't have anything like this on it. The Empire Strikes Back version has a clamp card similar to this, not exactly, but it has something like this. And instead, on the A New Hope version, there's a strip of bubbles that's on it that was also used for the Obi-Wan's A New Hope version of his lightsaber, was a bubble strip there. And on the original lightsaber, it also had a ring on it, kind of like this, but it was fastened onto the bottom of it, so it would sort of dangle from his belt. But this one uses the CoverTech wheel, so that way, in more of a Old Republic fashion, you could clip it from that lightsaber hilt, that lightsaber belt clip, is what you can do it. So this is really more reminiscent of Anakin's lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith. I don't know if it's thinner or not. They sometimes call it the skinny flex because it's perhaps a little thinner than the vintage Graflex. But in any case, these are the two lightsabers that were used by Luke Skywalker through his career as a Jedi from beginning to end. So I will go ahead and put a few blades in here, put a couple blades in, and we'll take a look at them lit up. One thing that I will also say is that as far as putting blades in, hey, how you doing? As far as putting blades in, the standard Allen wrenches that you'll use is the 5/64. Hang on, where are you? Focus. Is it going to focus? Come on. I don't want to touch the screen because then it won't focus on anything else. But okay, so this is 5/64 is what the small one is that you can use for, at least for my Vader's Vault Hero, the Return of the Jedi saber, for putting in the retention screw. Now for the Ultra Sabers Graflex, you got to use a bigger one for the type of fastening screw that I got. It's 9/64 is what that is. So it's a bit thicker. So I like, this is just good as Stanley. It's just a multi-tool. Goes all the way up to 1/4 inch Allen key or hex wrench. So you are going to need those for these things here for retention screws. So I have the Ultra Sabers Graflex, representing Anakin Skywalker's saber handed down to Luke Skywalker, and I have the Vader's Vault Hero, representing Luke Skywalker's lightsaber of knighthood and Jedi Master. I'm only using 32-inch blades in here, so that way I don't scuff up the walls or knock things around. So my Ultra Sabers here uses Arctic Blue, and this is just green. You'll notice the Vader's Vault, the green is flickering. This one is just a solid color, just a solid LED color. Between the two, obviously Vader's Vault is of the higher quality. It has a better soundboard than this one does. I think it's a little easier to work with this one as far as making fonts and such, because I did make some on here. The Ultra Sabers, it's a bit more of a trial and error trying to get the sound fonts to work on here. Just sometimes the sound levels aren't right, and I don't know. It's just kind of a bit of experimenting with that to get the settings how I like it. I think this is louder. It has a brighter sound to it. But this does feel a bit more responsive. So, two of Luke Skywalker's sabers. His Graflex in the blue, and the Vader's Vault, the Hero in the green. Let me turn off the light here. Here we go. I can't do my twist like I'd like to without breaking something. Wow, that gets pretty loud. Here, hang on. Epilepsy warning, sorry about that. So, I hope that you've enjoyed this very short video exploring the lightsabers of Luke Skywalker. The one given to him by his teacher from his father, Anakin Skywalker, and the one that he created himself as an achievement to knighthood. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, may the Force be with you.